this video, we are going to explore the types of IR control in activation devices. In previous video, we discussed about the IR control basic IR sensor. So now we can go for a quick recap of IR sensor. And the IR sensor includes the IR LED and photodiode. The IR LED emits the IR light. The light transmission reaches the object. Then some amount of transmitted light is reflected back to the photodiode. So from this travel, we can calculate the distance between the objects. Based on the IR type we used, we classified into two types, that is active infrared sensor and the passive infrared sensor. First we see about the active infrared sensor. The active infrared sensor consists of two elements. The first one is your infrared source and the another one is the infrared detector. The infrared source always includes a LED or a infrared laser diode, and the detector is also includes the photodiodes or phototransistors. The energy emitted by the infrared source, it is reflected and then the object reflected by the object and falls on the infrared detector. The main applications of active infrared sensor used in robotics mapping, obstacle detection and proximity sensing. And now we see about the how active IR sensors working. If from this figure, the sensor or the object is emitting the beam light towards an object. I mean the IR LED emits the beam towards an object. The second part is the infrared light reflects of the object, and then the photodiode senses the reflected beam and it will calculate the distance from the signal. This will carried out by the processor. Next one is our passive infrared sensors or PIR sensors. In this, the detection method which used has senses the changes in ambient infrared radiation. And the key feature of PIR sensor is it does not emit IR light. It only detects an existing infrared radiation. The main applications which is used in motion detectors and security alarms. How passive IR sensors are working? The first step is the lens focuses IR radiation onto sensor, and the sensor identifies the infrared radiation energy. Then the processor triggers the motion detection output. The processor will calculate the distance of movement from the IR energy to the object. Then we can calculate the output. The passive infrared sensor, it is normally infrared detectors. The passive infrared sensor do not use any source and detectors. In this, there are two types available. One is a quantum and another one is a thermal. We know that the infrared sensor main sources are heat energy or thermal radiation. And the thermocouples are pyroelectric detectors and bolometers are the common types of thermal infrared detectors. For coming to quantum type of infrared sensor, it gives the higher detection performance compared to the thermal type of detectors. So it is also faster than the thermal type of infrared detectors. The photosensitivity of quantum type detector is a mainly on wavelength dependent one. The key differences between the active and passive IR sensors. The first we see about the features of active IR is emits own IR radiations, and the passive IR, it detects the existing IR radiations. For calculating measurements in active IR, the distance by reflection, and it is calculated by the temperature changes in the passive IR. And the power consumption of active IR is a higher consumption and passive one is a lower consumption. And the cost is more expensive in active IR and less expensive compared to active IR in passive. The susceptibility is reflectivity dependent and it is an ambient temperature effects. And the application of active IR is mostly used in mapping and obstacle reduction, and the passive IR which is used in motion and presence of detection. And the some applications of IR sensor, the one is night vision devices, and the sensors used in various projects such as electronic devices and infrared technology implemented in night vision equipment. There is not enough visible light available to unaided. The night vision devices converts the ambient photons of light into electrons and then amplify them using a chemical and electrical process. And the another one is the radiation of thermometers. We know that this is a temperature calculating thermometers we normally use in the hospitals, and the temperature and the material of the object, and these thermometers have some features. The first one is a measurement without direct contact with the object, and it has a faster response because we can easily calculate our body temperature within a second, and easy pattern measurements also. And the infrared tracking on IR mapping imaging devices. The IR image devices is the major application of IR waves, and it is primarily by virtue of its property that is not visible. In this, it uses for thermal images or night vision devices. The application areas of IR is climatology, flame monitors, gas detectors, water analysis, and then rail safety and moisture analysis, gas analyzers. So many application areas are available in IR control. These are all the references. Thank you.